Hello friends, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I am doing something that I've never done before, and that is canning ground beef. So I've canned a bunch of meats before: chicken, beef, corned beef, different kinds of meats, pork. I've done it all except for ground beef, so this is a new experience for me. I've always wondered how it was. I've heard mixed reactions. Some people say it's wonderful, they love having it on hand. Some people also say that they don't like the texture of it. So in order to curb my curiosity and give it a try, because I always try things once, at least if it's not too scary. So today I'm going to try and can some of this beef that we buy from one of our local farmers. It is, I'll give them a shout out, Hohen Farms in Atkins, Arkansas. They are a homeschooling family that we know well, and we love the quality of their ground beef. The ground beef that we buy from them comes in 1 pound packages, so I'm gonna can 3 pounds of ground beef today because I'm gonna do small batches. You'll hear me talk about that more later. I don't want to do a lot of jars right now, just in case we don't like the texture. Then I only have a few jars to get rid of, because you know I've talked about before, only do what you like. But I use the recipe and the canning instructions from this book, and I will link to this below with my affiliate link to Amazon if you want to take a look at it. Don't feel obligated to buy it. Hopefully you already have this book and use it often for safe canning practices, but you can learn more about ground beef canning and any kind of meats on page 398 and 399 of this book. So yeah, I've got my ground beef heating up on the stove, my beef broth going, the jars are going. Reason I'm gonna do 3 jars today is because I also have, I'm canning some pinto beans, and I only have, I'm only gonna do 5 pint jars, I'm sorry, 6 pint jars. So that leaves me room for about 3 more pints. So I'm gonna throw in, I thought, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to grab that ground beef and give it a try. So let's jump in. If you're new here, my name is Carrie. I probably should have said that earlier, and I talk about recipes, cooking, canning, dehydrating, True Healthy Mama, low carb and gluten-free recipes most of the time. And yeah, so now that we got that introduction out of the way now, when I should have done it before, let's stop rambling and get in the kitchen, and let me show you how I'm going to can this ground beef for the first time. Alright guys, this is where I have my beef broth heating up in my electric kettle. I love this thing. It heats up really fast. I like to use it. I got it to use with my canning so that I could just heat up water when I need it really fast. And since I do small batch canning, this one works really good because it holds enough liquid for me to fill about 5 pint jars. So it works out great. This is my hamburger beef. This is very lean. This is meat that we get from that I showed you that we get from a local farmer. I am going to strain all. I actually cooked this. Okay, so this is actually already cooked, but it's warming up. You may see some broth in the bottom. I actually poured some of this broth in here and turned the stove on, and I'm heating this back up. I cooked this a few days ago, probably about 5 days ago, and then we got super busy, and in order to not overwhelm myself like we do sometimes, I drained this, let it cool completely, and I froze it. So today I thawed it out. And today I'm ready to can it with this other here. So I am going to beans that I got over there. So I'm going to warm this up, which is warm now. The broth is warm. My jars, excess jars are in there getting hot. And yeah, let's jump over to the other side, and I'll show you how I fill those pint jars with this ground burger. Okay, so we are ready to fill our jars. We have hot jars. The meat is now warm. So you can see that. I got my hot broth here. Another great feature with this is after it gets boiled and it's hot, you can take it off if you're going to use it really quick, and it stays warm for you, so because it's insulated. So I went ahead, this is 3 pounds of meat. I'm thinking I'm probably going to get 3 pint jars, since about 1 pound of meat goes in a jar with a 1-inch head space. But I went ahead, always prepare more jars than you think you'll need, because that way if you do need another one, you don't have to stop the process and get more jars heated up. My lids here, I did not, are from ForJar lids. They were gracious enough to send me some of their lids to try. I've been seeing great things about them on YouTube from other rockstar canners, so I'm really excited to give those a try. So far they feel really well made, and we'll talk more about those in a minute. But they were gracious to send me some wide mouth and regular mouth. Today I'm out of wide mouth jars. I've been out for a while, but I want to get some. Yeah, I actually may end up with 4 pints, but we'll see. So in my canner, you may can hear it back there. It is boiling. It is getting to temperature because I have hot jars of beans in there, so I'm in a hurry here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack it down. It's just your thing that you're going to measure your headspace. I just said, and then this is called debubbling because you want to get, jars are hot. You want to get all the air bubbles out because you don't want that to cause problems later when you're canning. So let me put this back over here. I'm using beef broth today. You could use water. You could use vegetable broth, whatever. You can make your own bouillon if you want to. This is just some beef broth that I had. I thought it would taste better, you know. Beef broth, ground beef. I thought it would help preserve the flavor a little bit. Makes sense, right? There may be a little bit of fat left on this hamburger, but it's very lean. So I'm not going to worry about it if it's a little bit. I'm going to debubble again. That one looks good. That one looks good. I think this one needs a little bit more meat, so I'm going to add just a little bit more meat. And don't worry if you get some on your jar, because we're going to wipe that down with vinegar, right? Vinegar is a fat remover, so it's definitely going to break the fat. And you want to do that because any excess fat may also cause your seal not to be a good tight seal. So this one I may not can because there's really not a full jar. Yeah, so I may just keep that. So I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to set this aside because really there's not enough for me to can and waste a jar. So I'm going to just clean that up and we'll put that aside and save it for just to add to a meal. So now I'm just wiping down the tops of my jars with vinegar, just white vinegar. Okay, let's talk more about the lids. Today I am using some of these canning lids that the ForJar Company sent me. These are the jar lids and the rings, and then they sent me some seals, which is amazing, some wide mouth, and then down here is just some wide mouth too. But today we're using the regular. Now remember, with the newer lids, you do not have to boil them to get them hot because the rubber is made to where it is going to seal properly without being boiled. However, and these don't have to be hot, even though your jars and your canner is hot, but I would definitely recommend washing them down with soapy water, which I've already done, and then dried off to get those here. And the beans, I have some pinto beans going in the back because we've ate those down. They're already in the canner. I did those off screen, but I also use these same ForJar lids. I was going to tell you, they feel really sturdy. They're the same weight if you weigh them on a kitchen scale as a ball or a cur lid. Like I said, I've seen Freedom Homestead, I've seen the Fermented Homestead, Sutton's Days, all those big time canning legends using these. And so when they reached out to me and asked me, did I want to try them? I said, sure. You know, I trust those ladies saying they work good, so I'll trust their lids with my food. So the next thing I'm going to do is put these 3 jars of ground beef. And I'm only doing 3 because we have never canned ground beef like I told you before. So I don't know how the texture is, and I don't want to over can this and it be something that we don't enjoy, right? Because I don't can stuff that we don't eat. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these in there with my beans. That will give me a full canner, and I'll come back when it's done and I take it out. I'm going to bring it to pressure. These are pint jars. Meat pint jars have to process at the proper poundage of pressure at your level, which mine is 10 pounds, 10 to 11 pounds. These pint jars will process for 75 minutes. If you do quarts, then 90 minutes. But please, I will link the book to which I gave the recipe out of and the Center for Home Food Preservation down. Always check those sites and your recipe books for proper, safe canning. Now let me get this in there and bring it up to temperature, and once it's processed and cooled off, I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, so I put the lid on, I brought it up, you can see how it's steaming. You may not can see it, but if you do like this, you can see that. Been doing that for about 10 minutes. That means it is okay for me now to go ahead and drop my weight on. Now I'm going to bring this up to temperature, to the poundage here, 10, 11 pounds, and I'm going to hold it there for 75 minutes and pressure can this. It's 3 o'clock, so Oh, the time I come back, I'll let it cool down and show y'all to be later this evening, but I'll give you a sneak peek at what else I was doing today. 2 sourdough loaves. I actually made a third one, but we've already got into that. So it's really good, really soft and fluffy, crunchy on the outside, but still, you know, soft enough to cut, but super yummy. I actually started this yesterday, but baked it today, and then I have English and muffins proofing in there that'll be going. So yeah, I'll come back and show you what I got in a little bit when this cools off and I get them out. Alright guys, so it has had time to cool and come down. I am taking the stuff out. First I'm going to take my pinto beans. They're already starting to ping. Can y'all hear that? Woo. Gotta be careful. Let me grab the beef because I know that's what you guys are here for. There it is. Look how awesome that looks. Amazing. You can see how it's still bubbling, so it's still very hot. One more beef in there. Oh, beans, sorry. I'll go ahead and grab them out. Yeah, so anyway, that is my first time canning ground beef. I appreciate y'all for coming around for the ride. Pinto beans, another one of my favorites. Alright, there we go. Last jar of canned ground beef. There you go. How awesome is that? Yeah, so look at that. Awesome. Clear water, which means no siphoning, no leaks, no breaks. How awesome. Okay guys, so there it is. My first time canning ground beef. And thanks again to ForJar's Canning Lids, that company, for sending me these lids to try out. I will be doing some more testing of these, and I will put a link to their website below. Do your own research, check out the other canners on YouTube that are using them, and see what you think. But yeah, so we'll see how these work out. Once these go, well, I already hear them. This one hasn't sealed. This one has sealed, but actually that one just sealed. So looks like they are all sealing. Yeah, and I will come back in the morning and show you what they look like, let you know if they seal. But there you go. Alright you guys, so I just wanted to check in and go ahead and end the video. I have now heard all 9 jars seal, so that is fabulous. So far so good. I'm going to be doing an update in a few weeks on the ground beef. I'll also update you as far as the lids and how they done. But right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and let them rest overnight for at least 12 hours. Most of the time I leave mine for 24 hours, but at least for 12 hours you don't want to move or touch them. You want to leave them on. They're still very hot. Let them cool overnight. That's what I do. In the morning, probably around mid-morning, I will take the rings off. I'll test all the seals, and then I will wash the jars with warm soapy water, and then probably even let them set out until the next day, because I'm just super cautious about the seal. And I will go ahead and then put them away then. These I will be keeping an eye on, so I can let you know if they seal and they stay sealed. And then keep your eye out, because in a few weeks, probably about 3 weeks or so, I'm going to test out. I'm coming to do a video about testing out the ground beef and see how we like it. And maybe try it in tacos or something, taco salad. And let you know how we like the canned beef. So I hope you've liked this video. Be sure to check out the links below that I mentioned. ForJar Company, the link to the ball canning book, and the link to the national site for home food preservation. I'll link that below. Let me make sure that is what you call it, because I always mess it up. Yep, that is what you call it. Make sure. Anyway, the National Center for Home Food Preservation. The link is below. So check that out. Give me a thumbs up for this video. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification. And I'll see you next time when you stop by in my kitchen. And hopefully we'll be cooking up some more stuff. Have a great week, you guys.